Hey, secondhand soul fans. Hey, secondhand soul fans. It's me, your friendly neighborhood soul man. And I'm here with
Kathy Fern.
Dave Drower, the sax man.
What's up? How we doing? And here we are at episode 23 of the Secondhand Soul Band Show. How's everybody doing? Everybody still hanging in there? We got a hell of a show for you today. Today we're going to talk about very little venue news. We're going to take a little trip back in the time machine. We got a favorite segment here, Over Underrated, coming up. We got a new segment called Sex Sales. We'll let you figure that one out. And of course, if it's Wednesday, Dave goes off as usual. Then we're going to have an interview with one of our bandmates. And we're going to check out a great performance by the Secondhand Soul Band. So you ready to get started out there?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it, baby.
Venue news? Same old, same old. Back to you. Well,
right,
guys, this is 23 weeks now we've been doing this. Our first show was June 6th of this year.
Yep.
And when we started the show, it became apparent that this virus wasn't going away anytime soon and a new normal must emerge. So this is what we came up with.
Yeah, Secondhand Soul Band Show. The show doesn't stop. You know, we we had to keep going. We had to keep performing once a week, at least once a week, one way or the other. So here we are. And back then we were thinking, yeah, we could just do this for a couple weeks, and pretty soon the next time you're seeing us on camera, it'll be like a live video at a concert. However, it took a while for that to happen, and we're still waiting. We're still waiting to get back to normal here. We did have
waiting. Oh my gosh.
Waiting patiently.
Waiting.
It's like we haven't even done anything, man. It's like I'm looking at these cases. I'm looking at what's gonna. My future looks. Yeah, it looks like we're going backwards. Like we've already done this lockdown. I feel like another one's coming on. Only this
That's
time.
why we're calling this segment the time machine, because it feels like we went in the Wayback Machine. There was only 126,000. Only, I say. 126,000 cases back then, and now we're up to 500,000 cases in the United States alone.
No, that's just Illinois alone.
Oh,
Illinois.
Yep.
Actually, the cases in the United States went to roughly over 1.5 million to today over 11 million. 11 million cases. What are we doing, guys?
God,
what in the hell are we doing?
Cannot absorb this.
Hey, we're electing Joe Biden president. I don't know about you, but that was a relief. Because if anybody's gonna do something positive for the country, it's not gonna be president.
Please. But, looking back to December 2019, we were planning a big New Year's Eve party. We were planning a record release. We were planning video shoots. You guys were writing new songs weekly.
Once a week, getting together.
Recording session.
And then get ready with that sound, Dave. Then the virus hit.
Yeah.
So like you said, Dave, it was a shotgun to our productivity. And there's not enough booze in the world.
Yep. Yeah. This is the longest, I was saying, this is the longest I've been off the stage. And when I was 28, I had a stroke. And I was back on stage in like 4 months.
Oh my God.
But this can't it's a mess. Like I just got my SAG card too. And we haven't been able to work in film.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to work in the bars. We haven't been able to do summer festivals. Everything's come to a halt.
Right.
What the hell are we fighting here? Put a mask on.
I know. Are we fighting the virus or are we fighting each other?
how about let's go to a movie theater? Let's like be able to go to the grocery store without putting a mask on, but you got to put it on for a couple months first. If we would have done this, if we would have done this back in May,
it didn't
perhaps,
happen, and it's not gonna happen, and now we're in for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's already been worse.
so God help you.
Mm.
Best of luck, and wear a mask.
yeah.
Do what you can, even if your fellow man is not doing it. You know, take the responsibility for yourself and your fellow man.
Yeah, we can't let the whole world get screwed over by peer pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, like when you were in high school
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, you want to hit this?" And you went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Right.
I understand. Like this is months and months and months. Like this is people are really hurting, like on an emotional level,
Yeah.
on a physical level, at a money level. Like and the federal government, I'm sorry to say, they've helped nobody that actually needs help. The mom and pop places around Chicago,
Mhm.
where's the federal government, right? Musicians, bars, where landlords
Or just
and
leadership.
renters. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you guys
Yep.
you messed up, really. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
if there
So
was
now we got-
support, people could stay at home, and then it wouldn't be the end of the world. But now, since there's zero support, people are
Yep.
choosing between closing the restaurant or losing the restaurant.
Losing their business that they fought so hard. I mean, working in a restaurant is one of the hardest things you could ever do as
Yeah.
a job.
Right.
Yeah. And there's
right.
no organized, nuanced solution like an organized, pickup or takeout, a priority to that. Like if the country made a priority to, we're going to change our lifestyle and just do takeout just to keep these places open.
Mm-hmm.
What if we cooperated like that?
Mm-hmm.
We'd be in a much different place. Maybe the economy wouldn't be in such bad shape, but we figured out how to do this without infecting each other.
Mm.
Instead, we got a wound that turned into a scab, and now the scab itches like crazy, and we're picking at it, thinking that's going to make it better, but it's making it worse.
Well, it's exponential growth. It's a
Yeah.
virus, like that's what happens, and people have been getting together, and I understand why they have, and exactly. This problem was a failure from the start. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is where we're at right now. So
But I do believe there's light at the end of the tunnel. I believe we will come out of this. We will be stronger. A lot of people will be smarter. Some people will not be any smarter than they were. But
One way or the
Yeah.
other, there
I
will be
think
light.
people are more aware. They understand.
Yeah. I mean, one way or the other, there will be light at the end
Yes.
of a tunnel.
Yes.
I hope it's not the last one, is what I'm saying here.
All right.
All right.
I think it's time. It's go time.
All right, it's time for our favorite segment, Over Underrated. That's where we take an artist, we look at their career, we examine what they've done with their lives, and we
Yep.
decide
Yep.
if they're overrated,
That's right.
underrated, or
Or
getting just the
just
right amount of
right.
praise.
Just right.
So who we got today?
Today we have Toni Braxton.
That's right. Toni Braxton. Tony.
Yes. The Braxton sisters, right? The Braxtons. This is where
Yes.
this is where her, I guess, music career started, which makes a lot of
Yes.
sense because as the career continued on, it was very, very, the sound was very similar. When you have background singers that sing just like your sisters did in the Braxtons, but you call it Toni Braxton. It's interesting to say the least. It would be like In Sync and Justin Timberlake sounding the same after he left.
Perhaps. Toni Braxton.
I'm not saying that it's better
no,
or
go ahead,
worse.
go
I'm
ahead.
just saying, like, if you listen to the Braxtons and then you listen to Toni Braxton, it's the same vibe.
Yes, they're sisters. They were born like a year apart from each other, and they sang in the choir together as they were growing up. Like they sing all the time. Like they grew up singing together. They had one voice. They all sound exactly the same. Yes. And Toni Braxton started her career as a solo artist, and what she did was brought her sisters along to sing backup for her on tour, so that she could get them working. I think her youngest sister, Tamar, was very young. 18, maybe 17, 18 years old when she was touring with them. And they had a short career. The Braxtons were a quartet. Her sisters branched off and had their own career. But Toni was the one responsible for starting their career. She came in by herself with an incredible voice, and all of them could sing too.
Well, yeah, no, she definitely had that alto range that was really
sexy.
Very sexy, and
I guess,
and warm, and didn't really sound like anybody. Like people would compare her to Anita Baker, but Anita Baker just had a deep voice. She couldn't enunciate as well as Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton was incredible, forced, powerful singer. Like you hear altos and you think about range, like the depth of their voice, but Toni sang with a lot of power without hurting herself, without doing all that stuff. She could belt anything.
Honestly,
I've never heard her voice crack.
She sounds very 90s, like her career. It's very. That's exactly why I sort of can't stand 90s music. Like, yes, it's like Sade. Like it all had that same sort of vibe. And she's the Beyonce of the 1990s. Like, that's who I honestly think Beyonce could sing better than her.
I'll give you that.
And
said it about a lot of people.
Right. So, is she overrated? Absolutely not. Is she underrated? Absolutely not. She's
underrated.
She's getting. Of course, you would say that, right? Like,
of
course. She came out with a few albums. Like, hey, did you hear her latest album? There was nothing of relevancy on there. It was.
Well,
the
production. I'm not crazy about the songs. The strength was in the singing, and she writes a lot of songs. That's another thing too. She's also a songwriter. Half her first album she wrote and produced. Plays piano as well. Didn't mention that part.
But
so that's another thing.
What did she come up with? Like 4
Best
albums?
Friend.
4 or 5 albums?
2, 3. I think I'm looking at 9.
The Braxtons had 3.
Wow, that's a surprise. I didn't know the Braxtons had more than 1 album. They didn't do very well, but she had 8 albums.
Okay.
Yeah, Toni, and she's also one of the
underrated. No.
She's one of the highest selling R&B artists.
Like
she sold
Jackson.
over 70 million records.
Okay.
And look,
President Trump got 70 million votes. So.
Don't go there.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk. Both aren't the same as records.
That's not a good analogy.
No, both aren't the same as record sales. 70 million is a hell of a lot for R&B artists. That's a lot of records for an R&B artist. 70 million, 1 million is hard.
You just pick whatever you want every week.
No.
Of course you would think this for this type of person. Because she really didn't do anything for music. And I've talked about this before.
She didn't do anything for music.
Exactly. She's a standard 1990s, like, come on.
A standard 1990s singer does not sell 70 million records.
The 90s was full of horrible music. That doesn't mean people weren't listening to music.
You can't write off an entire genre of music because it doesn't appeal to your own specific taste, Dave. There's a lot of intelligent artists that have made a lot of money over the 90s where you don't get it because you're
okay, but you talk about history of music and they don't come up. I don't see it.
Oh, wait, history of music?
Whose history?
We're talking about in 100 years. Is anybody going to care about Toni Braxton? The answer is no.
Perhaps. You never know.
The answer is no. She won't even come up in like history books. It's going to be a blip on the record.
I actually think that the history of like even the 2000s or the 2010s, there's not, I don't think we're far enough away to say who was going to stand out in history.
Yeah.
When music came up in, 40s, 50s, it was so much more groundbreaking back then. And now there's just so many artists. It's really hard to say they're not going to be remembered in the future. I mean,
well, that's because where's the groundbreaking? That's what I'm saying. If we as artists aren't creating something that's gonna be taking music,
well, not everything has to be completely new and different. I mean, you could just take something and do it better.
That's fine, but you can't say in that instance then the artist is underrated. Like to be underrated, you have to be pushing the envelope, and not just with what clothes you wear. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like I'm talking about as an artist. As an artist.
I think you left Lyle speechless.
Toni Braxton. I like Toni Braxton. It's not like I don't. But I'm just saying she's not underrated. And Lyle is speechless. Lyle is speechless. He's frozen, and it's fantastic. Because
at least it's not a compromising view.
Hey, What can you do?
Well, I'll pick up where he left off, Dave. I think that you need to expand your horizons a little bit to the 90s and the 2000s.
I listened to that. I listened to it like it was my childhood. Maybe that's part of the reason why I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But it's just like you listen to some of the older stuff, and I have to bring Stevie Wonder up, Michael Jackson up, and you could see through their career how they pushed the envelope and pushed music in a new way.
Yeah.
So Michael Jackson did more for Toni Braxton's career than Toni Braxton did for music.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm getting my over and underrated. And I already said she's a great alto. So I'm giving her props on her singing, but I always love Lyle. If the singing thing, that's because that's what he likes to rate by. But hey, we got another segment, Kathy.
Yeah, we do.
All right, tell us about this next one.
So this is, as we were talking about Toni Braxton, we pulled up some images, and the first one that I found was the one in the white dress where it's barely there, and pretty much everything is on display. And I said, why does someone have to dress this way? No doubt she has an amazing body, and I'm not body shaming. It's just I don't think it's necessary to dress that way to promote yourself. But that's kind of where everything goes now. It's the more that you need to attract attention to yourself, or as time goes on and people's judgment, we get kind of immune to seeing sex online, and it's not such a big deal anymore to see people's butt cracks hanging out, and the cleavage down to the belly button, and you're barely covered. Megan Thee Stallion was on Saturday Night Live last weekend, and they were all dancing on stripper poles, and that's sort of become mainstream now. And I don't know, it's their butts were barely covered. But then you go back to the 70s and you see someone like Cher wearing that outfit, and so it's always been something. Sex always sells. So I think it's a fine line between promoting yourself and displaying more than you really need to. I mean, there's Prince with his butt hanging out. One of my first concerts was David Lee Roth with Van Halen, and he came out with assless chaps on, and we almost strangled each other to see with the binoculars because we were way up in the nosebleed seats. So I know Lyle would want to weigh in on this, but I don't imagine he's joined us again yet. How about you, Dave?
Well, sex is always sold, and especially here in America, because we view sex in such a strange way compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And partly like you can't, what you're not supposed to see or you're not supposed to know, that's what's brought on more and more of this like very sexy.
But there's no mystery anymore,
Well, that's the whole point. It's that we have to make it seem like it's a big deal. That's why when we put it out there, or an accident happens, and it's really not. And this is sort of an American thing, because other places of the world, nude beaches are not crazy. Women being topless has nothing to do with sex.
I was in England in 4th grade and watching English TV, regular TV. Obviously, they didn't have cable back then. And there were boobs on TV, and I was like, what am I looking at right now? It was mind-blowing back then to see boobs on regular TV.
Right. And it's just how society looks at something, and if sex in general is a forbidden fruit or whatever, then of course everything's going to be like looked negative and negative and negative. And if it's a joyous thing, if it's part of life, and then it's not a big deal, then
it wouldn't be so controversial then,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it,
and sex does sell. I get that. And as an artist, you do have to have a marketing hat on, and you do have to be able to promote yourself. But I still think there's a fine line between promoting yourself and exposing yourself. And I don't think it's necessarily the thing to expose yourself. But then again, when I was growing up in high school, if a girl wore a belly shirt, she was kind of a slut. And now it's like, that's nothing, and the body type, body shaming is a thing. And as these girls are walking around with less and less clothes on and more chub, it's like, wow, okay, you can really just let it all hang out now, and no one seems to care. So as I've said a million times, I'm really glad I don't have any daughters.
and where you're at and what you're doing, it's like, man, at a motorcycle rally, it's completely different than if you're at like, because of,
well, even then I'm
it's
not
like-
necessarily
it's
down
like-
with it, but
it's like
it's
swimsuit car wash. Yes, we're gonna have ugly
and
ladies
again,
over here.
that's
for
an
that.
event that you go to though. And if you see that, like if you go to a strip club and you see strippers, okay. But to see that on TV, or is it just generally accepted for people to take really exposing photos of themselves and just share them everywhere and not even think twice about it? That's what I got a problem with. Like if I know I'm signing up to go see a R-rated movie and I see boobs or a dick or whatever, it's like, okay, the movie was rated that way, so I know what I'm getting in for. But for people to just expose themselves that way in general media where anybody can basically see it on Facebook, or I have a friend who takes shots of her boobs all the time and I had to unfollow her. I couldn't stand it anymore because it was so obvious she was looking for attention, sticking her boobs in her Facebook photo. It was perfectly shot every single time to show her cleavage. And it drove me insane. And every single photo would be like, oh, you look gorgeous. All the guys would be commenting and the girls said nothing. And I'm like, really? Just, put those things away before you hurt somebody.
But that's why she did it.
Yeah.
I had a little technical difficulty, so I dropped out.
Oh no. Oh, technical difficulties. No! Oh man. Talk about technical difficulties. Of course. But I completely understand. Like, I've been doing the remote.
They see these.
Wait, you dropped off. Start over.
Okay.
You dropped off.
Wow, that's pretty weird. I don't know what's going on. We had like a power outage. All my lights went out for like 2 seconds, came back on, and then I disappeared. So anyway, I'm back.
Okay.
But yeah, what I was saying, I completely lost my train of thought there. No, it's the advent of social media. Yeah. It is the attention. You have to think about like, God, how far back can I go? Baywatch, the 20-minute workout. There used to be this show called the 20-minute workout. And Bess Moda, I think, was she was an aerobics instructor. And there were these hot women in leotards, and they were working out. And only the women were watching this show for exercise. The guys are watching to see women exercising in
and they had tights on underneath the leotard, and that was considered exposing themselves.
Yes. Yeah. And first, let's just establish the fact that men are animals, and they could have had trench coats on. Yeah. And guys would have been looking, So there's that too. But in terms of and then I'm very uninhibited myself, so I really don't see anything wrong with it. Sex sells. We all know it sells.
Right. Right.
Come on, Dave.
Agree.
Show it, Dave.
I mean,
Show
I really.
Pictures. Let's see some pictures.
Oh yeah. We're. So yeah, no, sex sells. Like we always hear about it being inappropriate. Well, these are adult themed songs. It's just like you wouldn't let a kid watch an adult themed film that has nudity in it.
Oh, there he is.
So this is a live concert, I want to say from 2003. And man, if I stayed in shape, this is what you'd be seeing at every concert right here. But I didn't keep in shape, so you get the jacket. And maybe every once in a while I'll take the jacket off, but I got a vest under there that's holding my gut in. Let's move on. But yes, that
hey, you can do the splits though. It's still impressive.
Very impressive.
Guy my size doing splits, I gotta say I'm impressed myself every time. I don't know if I'm getting up or not. But
and you know what? There's something to be left to the imagination too. You don't have to show everything.
And that's what I learned because the transition happened. I think those shots, I was about 28 in those shots. And maybe when I was about 35 or so, I did a concert, didn't do as many sit-ups to prepare for this one. And my gut was kind of like I felt it touching my belt buckle, but my stomach was exposed. And this guy Norman is a trombone player. Man, I can't think of Norman's last name right. I'm sorry, Norm. But he said, man, you gave me a lot of confidence. And like he came out without a shirt on and he looked awful, And I was like, what? Is that how I look? And that's when it hit me. If you ain't gonna do the sit-ups, put the shirt on. And that's what stopped me. But guaranteed, if I get in shape, you'll see me out there like that. Not with the assless chaps, but perhaps with a shirt down to the third or fourth button, perhaps open. But that's quite enough for a guy my age, I think.
But now, Lyle, you were saying that this goes way back. I mean, in Rudy Ray Moore, they did, Eddie Murphy just did a movie about Dolomite.
Yeah.
And I did not know this, but I pulled up an album cover of him, and it was from 1988. Yeah.
Any kids,
Beware.
get away right now.
This show is not for kids.
Yes.
But this is available on the internet, so they're seeing way worse.
Yep.
Yeah, he took pictures,
Rudy Ray
naked
Moore.
pictures on the cover of every one of his records. The girls and the boys were naked. It's like,
Yeah.
what am I looking at here?
I mean, Ohio Players, there's another one. All Ohio Players make great music. And famously, all of their album covers have some woman with food getting poured on her. There's an album Honey, and there's a woman on the cover, and the guy is pouring honey on her. And I can't remember one song off of that album, but I can tell you what every part of the imagery looks like. I do remember that very well. So it sells. It sells. There's a reason they put it on there. I was talking about a song by a blues singer. This blues singer, her name is Lucille Bogan.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy Bogan. This song was recorded in 1924. It's called Shave Me Dry. Now, 1924.
Wow.
Now, remember, we talk about pushing the envelope and how the lyrics are nasty and all this. I'm going to read a few of the lyrics from Shave Me Dry. Now, as I read them, I'm going to have to censor some things that are too dirty for even me, a 45-year-old adult, to say. So I'm going to just kind of, you'll get the idea. I think some of these are okay. I'm going to just go for some of these. The lyrics go as follows. I got nipples on my boobies, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs that'll make a dead man come. Baby, won't you shave them dry? Want you to grind me, baby. Grind me until I cry.
Oh, my.
I boned all night and the night before. And I feel like I want to bone some more.
Oh, man.
Now, bone is probably kind of nasty. It sounds kind of, you say it enough times, it sounds horrible. But she didn't say bone. She said the F word in 1924. They played it somewhere. And the record, here we are 96 years later.
Right.
And it's on YouTube.
Right.
But that was to hear that you had to buy the record or you had to go and see her in person to hear it. That was the only two ways you got to see it. So you knew what you were getting in for. Again,
right. So
you're going to the event, you know what you're getting in for. But now to hear it on Saturday Night Live, Megan Thee Stallion and her 4 dancers shaking their butts, which are pretty much like in a thong. And it's just, the social media, like we said, it's just everywhere and it's annoying. I don't think it's necessary, but I sound like an old lady, like a prude, like everybody's showing their boobies. It's not okay, but
it happens to all of us. It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. I've seen stuff where I'm like, why? I don't get it. They like these guys with the tattoos everywhere and the dreadlocks that are different colors and they look ridiculous, but I know that I'm just being old-fashioned saying that because I remember the type of stuff that I used to wear, like the Kid and Play. Remember the Kid and Play? The guy had the high top fade.
Wait,
like different colors.
I'm very confused by your dreadlocks with different colors statement there. Like,
but they look good on you, Dave.
What the hell are you talking about?
See, this is the difference. The difference is like me saying that I have a mustache and Michael Bolton hasn't, or John Bolton has a mustache. We both have mustaches, yes, but his is preposterous. It's ridiculous. It's below his chin. That's the difference.
But why would you use that as an example?
Like, I think he means the whole thing, though. The dreadlocks and the, I'm a girl and I have boobs, but they're not. You need to look up
the Yin Yang Twins. Then maybe you'll see what I'm talking. The Yin Yang Twins, and who are the other guys? There's some guys from like the South. What do they call it? Crunk rap. You got to look these guys up.
Oh wow.
I got one for you. Lil Wayne. Do you feel like you resemble Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne is who I'm talking about.
No.
When I talk about the hair, do you think your hair looks like that? It doesn't look like.
No. It looks like myself. There's no.
And that's what I'm saying.
Replacement for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm old school, so I think that looks crazy, but that's hot right now. You should see the women this guy has. It's crazy. It's like, what the hell? How do you? Anyway.
All right.
So I have no problem with it.
They've been waiting long enough. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It goes on.
All right, my friends. This is one of my favorite segments, obviously, because it's Dave Goes Off, and this segment's all about me going off. on something that's irritating me. And before I get into it, like, don't get mad at me. It doesn't really take much to irritate me, especially nowadays. So, let's talk about the current situation that we're in. We already mentioned COVID. It's horrible. It keeps getting worse. And then here, it's the mayor and it's the governor. So wait. Stay-at-home advisory. So what does this mean to most people? It means nothing, probably. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say. But what does it mean to some people? It means go buy all the toilet paper, go buy all the alcohol, go buy everything from the stores immediately. So have we learned anything from these past 6 months? This has already happened to us. Like, stores couldn't keep toilet paper in stock. Why do I mention toilet paper? Because for some reason, people freak out if they can't have toilet paper immediately. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is, like, you go to the store and there's people in the canned food aisle, like the one aisle nobody really goes to. So all they're getting is canned food and water, and then you're going around. So here's the deal. If you are going to hoard, good for you. Like, you're planning on hunkering down, you're going to do us a solid. Thank you. But you've been ordering stuff online for months and months and months. So why stop ordering stuff online now just so that you could take all the toilet paper from the local Costco or the local Walgreens or the... Give me a break. So, hey, I'm just saying, people freak out when it's zombie time, you guys.
Yeah.
And for some reason, right, you go to the stores and you just look around and you're like, I feel like this is a little overboard on what you're buying and what we're fighting over. And
that was so shocking. The first time I walked into a grocery store and all the shelves were empty, I was like, it was so surreal. It was like being in a movie, like The Walking Dead. Like, what is happening?
I was like
right
3
now?
weeks late. Like, we already locked down when I finally had gone. And I was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Because people kept saying, they were like, you better go. You better get your toilet paper. You better get some food. And I was like, I'm all right.
It's almost like people feel like they have some kind of control over the uncontrollable when they can go and get, products that they think they're going to need, and then they don't even need it. It's a weird mentality.
And it's like, order it, it'll come, no problem. And there shouldn't be a shortage. Like, that excuse worked the first time this happened, but do not tell me Charmin's, do not tell me Scott's, do not tell me all these, like, meat companies haven't been preparing for people stockpiling.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a news report that said a lot of people were stealing toilet paper from the gig. So that's why they weren't buying that much.
Well,
exactly.
Yes. So
they had to start buying it.
So there should be no shortages of toilet paper because they've been buying it anyway for months.
No, I'm saying that now they've been buying more.
So
but when the first shortage happened, it was because people were buying more than usual because they were like taking a roll from the job.
Right, and this could be a completely media blitz. Like, the media could totally be making this out of proportion. Like, it's not like I saw like 7 managers tell me there's no toilet paper. They've just showed me like pictures of people buying a bunch of stuff, which
creates panic.
And it's interesting to me too. Like, there's more cases everywhere, so everybody go to the store now. To me, it sort of seems like counterintuitive. It's like
when
there's going to be more people getting sick.
Right. It's like when they did the travel ban and everybody rushed into O'Hare and there were 40,000 people crowded into the terminal trying to come in 2 days.
Way to think that through.
So, it's kind of the same thing. And I think that's what it is. People just want to avoid going to the store, but it's counterproductive because then you run out and you got to keep going business.
Yeah. And like you said, that, they've got the whole online system now, Amazon and anybody else you order from.
Instacart,
they got it down. Yeah.
Sure.
So don't even worry about it. Just
now's a chance
to need it.
Yeah, now's a chance to patronize those places and help out those gig workers,
Right, because they're really the ones that are suffering, not Amazon. That guy became a quadruple billionaire or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Trillionaire. Was he America's first trillionaire?
He's close to a trillionaire. He's getting there. He'll make it before anybody else.
But his wife is mad they're divorced now.
Oh, she made
she probably got that alimony. Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Tons of money. Oh, we got a friend to meet, don't we?
Yes, we do. This is a gentleman that we've worked with on many times. It's Glover Washington. He's a drummer, And he's got the best story of how we met. Actually, we talk about it in the video, so I'll let you guys see that. He's got many interests, including music, so he's a very diverse guy, and he's just a great guy. We just, very friendly, fun, talented, professional, as is most of the people that I would say all of the people that we work with, basically at this point. So if we're hiring you, you obviously fit the bill. So. Here's a little bit more about Glover. Hey, Glover, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great, everybody. This is Glover Washington, a drummer that we've worked with many times in the past, friend of the band, friend of me. Just wanted to check in with you and see how things have been going with all this craziness going on. How have you been hanging in there?
Oh,
That says it all.
yeah. This year. This is one of those years. I've never had a year this bad.
Yeah.
And mine, of course, mine started off New Year's Eve.
Oh,
And
right.
And it just continued all the way to. I just got my knee scoped last week.
Oh my goodness. Everybody, he was sick on New Year's, and then he came to he played with us.
Great.
And then ended up like in the hospital for almost like a week or something, right? You're a trooper, man. You're my kind of guy.
Well, my wife was like, "Are you crazy?" Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some ibuprofen, okay? I'm going to take the ibuprofen, and we're going to go to the gig. On the way to the gig, I got water. My suit was wet. All my shirt, everything was totally just drenched.
No.
I'm up there playing. I'm drinking plenty of water and stuff. About 5 o'clock in the morning, it goes. She's like, "That's it. That's it." Because I was shaking the bed so hard she couldn't sleep.
No.
Oh, crazy. But
You are a trooper.
just playing this. I'm still playing a little bit. And what I did was I went and bought an electronic drum set.
Okay.
I go, well, you know what? It's not loud because the wife, I'll be interfering with her TV time and whatever else. So I said, let's just go get this electronic drum set.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was probably one of the best investments I've had
Okay.
in years. What happened was I took that and I started putting videos on Facebook and
Yep, I've seen them.
stuff. And I've been getting calls.
Oh.
Hey, since you have that, why don't we send you this music? And if you can put something on, I'll send you some monetary.
All right.
Well, cool. So I've been getting all of these songs coming in. I'm sitting downstairs going, dun, dun, dun. I'm learning the songs and then I go and put stuff to them. I've been getting all these drumless people calling me up now and they're going, hey, as long as you put up a video for us, we'll send you all the music you want.
Wow, that's cool.
It's been turning out to be pretty good. And I'm still out there playing though. So what's happening is if it's not outdoors, and outdoors, I'm being very careful still too,
Yes.
because people run up to you and they want to go, hey, man,
And they forget. I know.
Forget. So I have the mask on while I'm playing, especially outdoors. I mean, indoors, but outdoors, I have it on too. But I've done a few indoor gigs though that have been everyone's spaced out.
Good.
There's only a capacity, maybe 50 people at the most. That's it. So, and I've been doing a couple of streaming things, Facebook Live deals where there's nobody in there.
Yeah.
I might have a couple of buddies hanging out, but that's it.
Yeah.
But mainly, just doing that. That's been fun. I've been having a lot of fun learning how to do the green screen thing.
Yeah. We talked about that. We exchanged some notes on that. So.
And that's been turning out well too, because now I'm picking up work for that. I'm going, get out of here.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So
hey, way to pivot though. You had to kind of go with the flow and just see what you could do.
That's it. And I can't do any now because I teach martial arts also. So I can't do that. So either I'm doing a virtual thing, doing that online, or it's just sitting around watching people now. It's just stupid.
It can be very boring, yes.
It is boring. And so I was, I don't know if anybody knows it, but I worked for a repo company. So, and so that all stopped also.
Okay. Oh, right. They're not letting people do that anymore.
And it just started back up. And of course, I can't work right now because of the knee.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you know what? You have a good disposition, though, that you're just, going with the flow and, trying to make the best of all of it. That's all we can do. So
that's
better
all.
than sitting there feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah. And that's what me and the wife were going, look, there's no reason to just sit around and do anything, nothing.
Right.
And
Be
let's,
productive.
let's go do stuff. But of course, she's got the honey-do list of things.
Of course.
Oh my God. I painted the house. I'm doing painting. I built the deck in the back because she does the DIY on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh God. So that's all these projects have been going on.
Hmm.
So which is fun. I've been
Yeah.
learning that I'm
Yeah.
probably never going to go use again.
But hey, it
I'm not,
expands your horizons,
I can say I did it.
Uh-huh. And you came out of this with learning something instead of,
Yeah, we both learned a lot together.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
I
doing
was
it.
excited just to watch your videos because I didn't know you were as versatile as you were. I know you're in another band that I've not yet seen, and I plan on attending a show when we can safely. But tell us about the other band you're in.
I'm in another band called Black Market Democracy. And this band is kind of like hard, heavy,
Way
and
heavy.
yeah, a lot different than what we played in the second. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I just love that energy. It's a totally different feel. And I played jazz, I play R&B, rock, metal. Basically, I'm like whatever's paying, I'm playing.
That
Kinda
needs to be on a t-shirt.
If it's paying, I'm playing. And, but it's the energy, you get from that. It's
Yeah.
a totally different, everybody, and you go to some of these festivals, and there's a ton of people out there, and they're all hollering, yelling, and running.
That's fun, though.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I think I like the jazz stuff a lot more.
Yeah.
I can be a little bit more expressive.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the music, I try to stay within that genre what it calls for.
Yeah.
That's my own personal view on it. If it's R&B, I tend to let the focus be on the singers and what they're trying to do versus me throwing a lick here and there and trying to get it because it's about the music. It's not about me. But when I'm doing the fusion and jazz thing, now I can be a little bit more creative and expressive.
Okay.
How I feel about throwing stuff in.
Yeah,
But,
that's kind of par for the course for that kind of music.
Yeah, and that's it. But the other genres, I try to be a little bit more careful about what I'm doing. I don't want to offend some people. Keyboard players can be kind of, I don't like you thinking over my thing.
Hey, we have no divas in our band, right?
Not one. There's not one.
Not even me.
No, everybody, man. You guys, when that first time I ever played with you guys.
I got to tell the story about how I met you. This is hysterical. So, I manage the band, and it's sometimes, managing all these schedules with everybody. Is 7 of us in the band. And I got a family and kids. It's like, it's a lot to manage sometimes. And I think I do a pretty good job of it most of the time. But that day was a major fail because I neglected to write down on my calendar that my drummer was going to be not only out of town, but out of the country. So all of a sudden we're like, where is he? Where is he? It's getting later. And I call him and he answers unbelievably from out of the country. And he goes, I'm in. I don't remember where he was. And I'm like, what? we started like 45 minutes. Oh, and I remembered him telling me, and it all came flooding back. I'm like, oh my God, we're sunk. What do we do? And I just got everybody. I'm like, you guys get on the phone. And I started calling all the people I knew, and they were all busy, or we were far away from where we normally play. What town were we in? Do you remember?
Goodness.
It was south somewhere. South.
Close to me.
Yeah, close to you. Thank God. And all of a sudden, and who told us about you? Was it
Tony Metters?
Tony Metters. He was a sub bass player too at the time, and he knew you, and he called you, and he's like, he's only 45, or you were like 15 minutes away, and he'll be here as fast as he can. And you literally got there in like 15 minutes. And the crazy part was you were wearing a blue shirt, and we were all in blue, like Nobody even told you. Like, this is meant to be.
You know what? I feel like wearing blue today.
Oh
and
my God.
I literally.
Plus, you had your drums in your car already.
Yeah. And I was on the couch watching TV. I had a beer in my hand watching TV
God.
and just chilling. And I go, Tony. I go, hey, what's up, man? He said, Glove, what are you doing? I'm laying here drinking
That was
beer.
awesome.
He said, no, I need you to come play. I'm like, come play where? And it was, was it Palos somewhere?
Yeah, I think maybe.
And he said, how fast can you get here? I said, as soon as I could change clothes. And he said, okay, good. And I jumped in the car. He gave me the coordinates and bam, and I made it.
Oh my God, the stress.
Tony and I went to school together.
That's what I remember him telling me that.
That's how we met. And man,
this business though, like it's good to know good people because who saved my butt that day.
And that was the thing. All you guys were great people, fun. I got to share some fun, and it was good. I had a great feeling. So, and
not only did you just like not do an okay job as a fill-in, like you nailed it. Like how many times did I hug you that day? I'm like, I know you don't even know me, but I love you right now.
Oh man,
it was so delightful.
It was cool. It's just and it was people. I think it is like-minded people.
Yeah, absolutely.
People, hey, we got a goal to accomplish, and let's get it done.
Yep.
And everybody put the game face on. It was game time, hoop, and bam, it was it.
It was it. We do it.
That's what it is, and that's what I like about the band. That's what I like about Secondhand Soul Band.
That's awesome. So, anything else you want to add?
I'm just gonna say I have had a rough year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that next year turns out better for everybody.
I think it's almost guaranteed.
Yeah, financially, economically, yes, you could say just that'll cover all of that. Politically, emotionally, and I'm hoping that everyone starts turning out better.
I think so.
Everybody, on all sides. I don't have any animosity towards anybody. And I want everybody to get along and do better. We can be better than what we got going on this year. And I mean, let's do it.
That's awesome.
Let's just do it. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta do. And with everything what I'm playing and doing now, that's the approach I'm taking is it's gonna be better.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they send me the song and I go, it's gonna be better. When I get with some of the kids on the Zoom meetings and stuff, I tell them it's going to be better.
I love it.
That's what we got to do.
That's really what we got to do. Yeah, I think everybody might. They call this the great pause, and I hope everybody has taken a minute to step back and say, "All right, I can have some better relationships. Maybe I don't need these kind of people in my life. Maybe I need to focus more on getting myself better, doing more, being better." Yeah, that's an awesome way to look at it for sure.
But other than that, I definitely want to say the Secondhand Soul Band, Motown Funk and Soul, baby. That's it.
Thanks so much for being on the show.
It was fun. Thank you for having me.
Hope to see you really soon.
All right, we'll do. We better.
Pizza's here.
Yeah.
Man, that was a hell of a day, boy. That was a hell of a day. God.
That's right.
Man, that was so crazy. I was like,
come out here. I'm on the.
I'm a flyer. Yeah, that was nuts. That day. The funny thing to me was I never really worried. I think we were about an hour out from doing the hit. We didn't have anybody on the phone to come down there. We were just like looking.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're gonna be all right. I don't know how I knew.
I wasn't worried because we were crushing it. It was like the summer. It was like, no.
Yeah.
We know what's up. And was that the summer, Lyle, that we had like sub after sub after sub after sub?
Yes.
Yes. Every time.
It was right. So there was something about it where it was just like, no, we've been playing with.
I'm glad you guys weren't worried.
we had 3 drummers in the past 2 weeks and and 4 different.
Somebody's gonna come.
Right. But we were hungry and it was that was a great show. That was a great show.
It turned out to be a great show. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And we had
Yeah,
another
that
great
worked out.
show. What was it? We were talking about this
Yeah.
jam, right?
Yeah, the Jingle
Yeah,
Jam.
Jingle Jam. That was December 12th, 2019. Seems like a million years ago. Not even a year ago, though. We were hired by Mikey O, Mike Okendo, who is a comedian. And so that was a really good fun event. That's us with him in the band.
Mikey
and
over there on the...
man, that was so much fun. We were at Joe's on Weed. It's a really great venue for concerts. They have a rooftop too. We met some Bears players were there, Peanut Tillman and Jerry Azuma. So that was cool. They were telling us how much they liked our music.
Hands were enormous.
Peanuts were...
Yeah, covered my whole back.
They were cool though. They were really hip.
Yeah,
really they were jamming while we were playing. Yeah. I'm like, cool, we're lighting up the Bears. I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
But that show, we did one of those shows we didn't have to do in our own sound, Dave. And basically, like you said, we had to tune out our sound in our ears mentally, just so we could kind of sing from muscle memory, because the sound was like a little all over the place. It was really difficult, and luckily we're such professionals. We were able to just do our thing.
That's why it's ironic, like the video clip we have of it has such horrible sound, just because of the placement of the camera. And
we're learning, we learn as we go.
Well, no, normally we would have like the board feed, normally we would have all this other stuff, and we were just praying the feed in our ears was usable. I just remember that, because there was no sound check, and it was sort of not the most organized thing. And normally, whenever we run stuff, at least I know exactly what needs to happen, and we have everything.
You're so on top of it.
It's like boom, boom, boom. But when when it's like sound check's supposed to be right now, and you look at the sound guy running around the stage,
looking for cable.
You're
have you done this before? Especially if you're doing the sound for the same venue over and over. It should be actually easier. Really, it shouldn't be that hard. But
or if you see a guy with an apron on,
right,
and he's doing the sound, it's like, okay. A general practice, you got to do the muscle memory thing. You got to just come in the door thinking you're going to get screwed tonight on sound. Oh, I need money. You just got to assume it's going to happen. I've seen it so many times. The guy puts a tray of drinks down and he picks up an iPad. He's doing the sound. What for? What? I don't think you're supposed to be doing that.
Oh yes, don't get me started. We got to start this because we can talk right through this.
Yeah.
But this was a really, really, really cool view, and there was tons of people. Remember, they had tables at the beginning of the night, and then they moved them all out.
Yep. Yeah, this is a really nice venue. Enormous. Joe's on Weed. This is a really great place.
Yeah, they moved all the tables and the dance floor. It was a comedy show, so most of it was table to table packed. Of course, this is before COVID, so people were kind of elbow to elbow.
Right, and they moved the tables out. Remember when we started performing?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah,
they moved the tables out so they could dance.
It's a great stage too. So really well lit, and it was really fun. It was a fun night. Good lights. I'm looking forward to playing there again.
Oh yes. I'm looking forward to playing almost anywhere.
Anywhere?
Yeah, I play a Subway right now.
It's, oh man, do we miss it? Do we miss it?
Yeah.
Just to see everybody's faces and we bust out their best dance moves.
Look at this guy in the front here. Look at this guy in the middle.
That's who I'm referring to. He was feeling it. He was feeling it.
Feeling it.
I mean, and then when they spontaneously start the Soul Train, I'm like, this is cool. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Is that Pat there? That looks like Pat Chavasula in the middle. He didn't get on the floor, I know. Who is that right there in the jacket?
I didn't see him. I don't think so. That was just some guy.
That was just
he was too cool for school. He left as soon as his set was done.
Yes, that's right. He was.
Yeah.
He thought he was too cool for school.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
That was fun, though. Mikey O does some great events, though, and he said he would definitely hire us again. So.
Absolutely. It was a killer show.
Yeah.
And the
Weed, he was like, where have you guys been? Oh my God.
Right. And on Weed Street, we're that's probably going to open up back when we are it's going to be the anniversary before they can open up places like that, because that's indoors and music and
Well,
Yeah.
Mikey O does some great events. He's always putting something together. He's kind of one of those networkers that just seems to know how to hook people together. So we're looking forward to working with him again. That night, there was 8 different educational institutions that were being benefited by the money they raised that night. So he puts on some amazing events. So good job, Mike.
All right.
Hey, that's 23, I think.
That's 23
in the books.
That's right. So I
All
guess we'll
right.
check you guys out in another week. So come and check
Be
us out.
safe. Be safe, everybody.
Be safe, be
See
smart.
you next week.
Peace.
Hey, secondhand soul fans.